Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Bandwidth for TWiT specials is provided by CacheFly at CACHEFLY.com.
This is TWiT Live Special number 290, recorded June 9th, 2016. Lenovo Tech World 2016. This TWiT Live Special is brought to you by Automatic, the connected car company that improves your driving and integrates your car into your digital life. Visit automatic.com for a limited time 30% discount and free shipping on your Automatic adapter. Augmented reality on your phone, virtual reality on your tablet, the future of wearables, and Motorola. I'm Father Robert Balassier, the digital Jesuit for TWiT TV here at Lenovo Tech World 2016. Of all the announcements here at Lenovo Tech World 2016, the one that probably had people most intrigued was Project Tango. That's right, Google has developed an AR product that will be integrated into newer devices that have the right hardware. I'm speaking with Ashish from the Google Tango team. It's actually now known as Tango, not Project Tango, and it's built into the Fab 2. Tell me a little bit about what I needed to get it in here.
Yeah, so Tango relies on sensors that tell you more about your space. It helps you understand your 3D environment, and it helps you understand how your device is moving in space. And you accomplish that by adding 2 extra pieces of hardware on the back of a phone. And so what you see in here is a motion tracking camera. It's basically a wide-angle camera. A wide-angle camera is used to understand more of your environment and how the device is moving with respect to the environment. So as you see in some of these AR experiences, you can look around them, look around the virtual objects, and that comes from understanding of position of the device, and that comes from the motion tracking camera. Then here you actually have a depth camera, which is a sensor and an emitter, and it's a time of flight sensor, and it helps you understand where your floor is, how far the walls are, how tall the ceiling is, and things of those sort. So once you combine information about how the device is moving and understanding of the 3D environment, that's what enables AR experiences on a smartphone.
Oh, I saw a demonstration of this several times at Google I/O, and the amazing part is that it's always mapping. It's always looking for those points of reference. It's always looking for depth, which allows me to do things like green screen without a green screen. I can say, only take the objects that are within 10 feet, ignore everything else that's back, which really does open up what developers can do with Project Tango. But if you could you show me a couple of the demonstrations so people can actually see in real-world terms how an AR-enabled device might help them?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's start with some of the apps that Johnny Lee showed on stage. I'm going to start with the one which is the simplest one, but very utilitarian. An example of that is, how about using your device as a magic measure tape or magic tape measure? Something that allows you to get rid of the measure tape and not have to fumble around ladders and things of those sort when measuring things. Say if I was in the market to buy flooring for this house, and I want to measure how much flooring do I actually need. So let's just take this example of a rug, and what I'm going to do is, instead of pulling out a measure tape and a pen and a paper, what I'm going to do is open up my camera feed in this app called Measure.
All right, now, so he's walking the floor right now. Kara, if you go ahead and follow him, you can see what he needs to do in order to get the dimensions of this floor into the device. Oh,
the point at the corner I need to measure, and I say point here, and you want to stay behind me, and then turn around, point here, and go back. And you allow it to snap. Okay. So now what you see is I highlighted this area, which is 1.5 meters, and you can actually get close to see it. That's 1.5 meters, and that's 2.4 meters. And the good thing is that you can actually walk around the house, taking all of these measurements, and come back, and you'll always see that these things are these virtual markers are registered to space. So I can take a measurement here. Then I want to see how much curtains do I need to buy, and I can go here and say buy some curtains for here, Or here, maybe half curtains. All right. Now what I can do is I can take a picture of this to visualize it when I need it at the store. I can also say go generate blueprints for this, and I'll go to the measurement gallery. And what it's done is that it's actually taken blueprints of what I've measured. So that's this. This is what I measured.
And this is amazing because this really shows people what's possible. I mean, you can walk into a room and get your blueprints. Go ahead and recreate what the room looks like, and then you can add objects. You'll know what will fit and what will not fit. You also have the ability in this device to say, like, replace parts. So if you're redecorating your house, you can say, well, what would it look like if the floor was a different color? Or what would it look like if I put a window in this wall? Can you demo that?
Yeah, let's do that. So it's actually not replacing it, it's actually overlaying on top of it. So there's a difference. It doesn't remove the carpet. It actually just replaces, puts a layer of like virtual objects on top of it. So let's look at another app that was showed on stage, was the one from Lowe's. All right, so you want to do the flooring? Yes, please. Okay, let's do the flooring. Let's say I want to have, oh, come on. Okay, I want to get a dark cherry wood. So I'll click dark cherry wood, and it actually places a dark cherry wood blank slate on top of this. And I'm going to try to expand this. So that gives me the illusion that the whole room is, rather than actually using a small sample, I'm going to try to cover the room. So now we can actually see this one. I've created a sample of like dark cherry wood and what it would look like in my room. And I can start decorating it with furniture. Let's say I want to see what this chair looks like. And I put this chair in here. And it's not like a 2D sticker on top of an image. It's actually a 3D object. So you can walk around this. You can get closer and see what the cushions look like. Move around it, what the armrest looks like. And all right, I want to put in an end table next to it. So I put an end table next to it and see what that looks like. Or maybe even put, sorry, it's hard to see. Oh, the lamp didn't show up, but you can start decorating your room in this way and see what things look like before you actually buy them.
Ashish, now that this is officially in a product that's being released to market, what's next for Tango? What do the smart guys at Google have in mind for the next generation of augmented reality?
So I can't comment on the future of augmented reality. I can talk about what we want to do in Tango. We consider Tango as an ingredient technology for sensing the world. And we would love to see a future where every mobile phone actually has Tango built into it, so that you never have to talk about Tango. You only talk about, oh, now I actually never have to have a measuring tape. Or now when I buy furniture, I never have buyer's remorse. That's the world that we want to get to. And this is the first step of many that will actually allow us to get there.
Thank you for speaking with us. Thank you for showing off what we've been awaiting for such a long time. And that is your world augmented. We'll be right back to Lenovo Tech World, but first let's go ahead and thank the sponsor of this TWiT Live special, and it's Automatic. Now, Automatic has a question for you. Has your car aged poorly? I mean, I know that you loved your car when you first bought it, but it's probably not as smart as today's cars. You don't have all the digital gadgets and accoutrements that you might expect from a higher-end car bought today. But Automatic is here to change all that, because they can take your plain old car and turn it into a smart car. Now, Automatic is a dongle that connects to your onboard diagnostic port just underneath your dashboard. And it allows your Automatic to communicate with your car's computer. And with that, you get access to all the digital goodies that you would expect from a modern car today. It works on nearly every car made after 1996. And it takes just minutes to install and connect to your iPhone or your Android phone via Bluetooth. It lets you have real-time performance data. You get audio alerts when it's time to ease off the gas and, to use your brake pedal. It helps you to avoid high speeds, and most of all, it helps you improve your driving efficiency. Their commute analyzers determine when you should leave for your destination and how you can save money by making your commute more fuel efficient. Automatic not only keeps track of your fuel mileage, but if you're one of these people who tries to get reimbursed for your travel, Automatic will integrate with various payroll programs so that you'll never miss a reimbursement again. Automatic also keeps track of your teenagers' driving habits. They've got a 24/7 crash response feature, so you can feel safe knowing that Automatic is keeping an eye on your most precious resources. That's right, your children. And for Android phones, if you choose, Automatic can set your phone to Do Not Disrupt for the duration of your trip. It's another one of those safety features that makes Automatic just a little smarter than the rest. Above all that, you get Automatic platform integration with things like the Amazon Echo, the Nest, your Mechanic FreshBooks, If TTT, and more. It supports Apple Watch and Pebble and is pretty much the coolest device I've ever put into my car. There are no monthly fees or subscriptions are required, and Automatic will never sell your data. You just link your car to the connected device that power your life, and you're good to go. Now, folks, here's what we want you to do. We want you to try Automatic. We want you to see why TWiT TV thinks this is the best thing that you can add to your plain old car. Automatic is normally $99.95, but for a limited time, visit automatic.com to save 30% off your Automatic adapter and receive free shipping. That's automatic.com, automatic.com. And we thank Automatic for their support of this TWiT live special.
Brian Burnett here, and we're checking out the Lenovo gaming booth. I'm here with Jeff. Jeff, why don't you explain to me what it is you do and what you're showing off here?
So my goal for Lenovo is basically to engage with the community. You know, a lot of OEMs actually go with a product basis, and we actually are taking more of the community approach because we're brand new. Alienware's been around for about 20 years. We've only been around for one. So our goal is we launched the first set of products, which was 4 products, and now we're getting community engagement and community feedback on how to grow that brand and what do they actually want. And what we're doing here is we have a great green scheme set up for people that actually want to take pictures of our Y900. We have the new Y900 laptop coming out, and then we're showing our brand new 3-up display with 3 Y27G rated monitors all together playing Rocket League from Psionic, and it is just, people are having a blast.
Yeah, so you just mentioned about Alienware and such, and I've been reviewing the Acer Predator G6, another gaming machine. Now, what impresses me a lot about this machine that you have right here is just how clean it is. Like, this is definitely a machine that you could, like a plug-and-play machine you could buy, but also for the enthusiasts who'd want to, mod it later in the future. Now, I noticed you're not using liquid cooling. What was the idea behind this design strategy?
A lot of it was just to get really clean on it. What we knew is we had 2 different types of people that wanted to buy a computer from us. We have the younger crew that may not be able to afford a really top-tier computer quite yet, but we know that they're gamers. They're enthusiasts about it. We wanted to give them something they could easily upgrade over the years. We didn't want to be that company where you have to buy a brand new chassis every 2 years. We wanted to make sure that you could keep this for 5-6 years and keep upgrading it as you wanted to. But then you have that other side of people like myself who have kids now, and while we used to game all the time, we don't have the time anymore. So we want to make sure that the rig was solid and strong so I could drop it and play anything at Ultra and anything we wanted. So a lot of the reason for that clean upgradability is the fact that we do want people to feel as though they're not locked into something. With the new GTX 1080 cards coming out, we thought ahead of time thinking that people would be upset that they got the 980s wishing they had got the 1080s. Now they don't have to. Now all they do is in 2 seconds, it's completely toolless. They pop it out, pop the new one in, load the drivers, and you're off and running just like that.
That's awesome because I know as a PC builder myself, I want the option to, I have video card envy. When the new card comes out, I want the new card. I want the option to be able to slip in the new one, no problem. And speaking of using the 980, we've got these 3 screens with G-Sync playing Rocket League. I was a little skeptical. I sat down. I haven't played on 3 screens, curved screens like this before, but really it engulfs your peripheral vision, which totally changed the experience. Can you tell me about these screens here and stuff?
Sure. So there are brand new screens. They're coming out in October, if not a little bit sooner. They're called Y27G. We're gonna have G series, which are G-Sync. We'll have FreeSync for the AMD people, and then we'll actually have a Razer edition in October as well, which will sync up with our Y900 Razer edition. And it has the cool green features and the chroma and all that stuff in the back. So we're pretty happy with them. They're 4 millisecond refresh rate. They're 1080p. We didn't go with the 4K because we felt that a lot of gamers thought that 1080p was enough, and that sometimes 4K, especially with 3 screens together, was a little bit of overkill. It doesn't mean we won't get there eventually, but we wanted to at least start. Again, we want to start with what we know that gamers want, and they will tell us how to expand in the future. Instead of using tons and tons of market research, we'd rather take that money and put it into the community and do cool events and make cool stuff like this in partnerships with Rocket League and things of that nature with Psionic. So it really does encompass a lot of your site. It's almost kind of jarring when you first do it. The first couple seconds, you're like, oh my gosh, I can see everything. And then as soon as you get into it, you're like, this is amazing. And it really does change a little bit of gaming, and that's what we're trying to do time over time, is just change a little bit more of gaming.
You also mentioned that you're partnering with Razer, so you've got a controller from Razer here. Razer Wildcat. No, it looks like a really nice complete setup.
The good thing about Razer is they have that kind of that top-end enthusiast gaming stuff, where we have the entry level to mid-level. We want to make sure that we have something for everybody. The reason we grouped up with Razer is because they are a fantastic company that gives us that span into that kind of upper echelon of gamers. But with this, we have a mechanical keyboard, which we're getting rave reviews about. We have a mouse, we have a headset that is right here, and we're really giving a gamer at any point in time the ability to jump in and actually have the complete set without feeling like they have to spend $5,000 to get it. This whole set right up here, if you didn't have the monitors, you just wanted the desktop, and then the keyboard and the mouse, those all come together for just over $2,000, or even less if you want to get a GTX 970, and you're up in gaming with everything you want. The headset's another $70.
Well, I think if you're a gamer and looking for something that you can just plug and play and start gaming right away, but you want the option to be modular and upgrade in the future, Lenovo's the opportunity for that.
We're in the press room at the Lenovo Tech World event, and we're checking out the latest Moto phones from Motorola, actually from Lenovo now. Now this is the brand new one. This is the Moto Z Force. This is sort of the premium one. It's actually beautiful. They're quite beautiful, very well made, all aluminum. But what I really love about this is that they've added a new concept, the Moto Mods. Now the idea is they've created a series of magnetically connected devices that will expand the functionality of your Moto. For example, this is a Kate Spade battery pack. So not only is it fashionable, but it will protect your phone as well as giving you a little bit of extra power whenever you're running out. But what really caught my attention are the functional mods. Not battery packs, but additions to the audio and the video capabilities of your device. This is a JBL speaker. Now, this one is a JBL speaker. It may not look like much, but the sound coming out of this device is fantastic. And let me show you how easy it is to attach. I'm going to put the speaker right down here. You just bring the phone over the top, and Kara, if you take a look here, you can see it's got contacts on either side, and then it magnetically connects. Now the amazing thing is within half a second of connecting, the phone recognizes that it is now connected to a mod and it's ready to use it. In fact, I can go ahead and I know that this is a busy room, a crowded room with a lot of noise, but this sounds absolutely phenomenal. This is not what you expect to get out of a phone-connected device. Now, it doesn't stop at just audio. You can also increase your video capabilities, which is one of the features that I really, really love. All I have to do is take off this mod, and as I take it off, it will automatically shut itself down, but it keeps playing on the phone. And I can add this. This Moto mod, believe it or not, is a projector. Now, the cool thing about this projector is it will work in any position, and just like the speaker mod, it just attaches magnetically. I can angle this for best effect, and I can do everything with it from showing people what's on my screen to playing movies for a movie night to projecting a virtual keyboard that I could use for data input. Now, this is just the start of the Moto Mod revolution. Lenovo is actually going to be offering $1 million bounty for developers, those people who want to take the hardware and the software to the next level. If you want to find out more, you need to go to developers.motorola.com and continue to watch our coverage of Lenovo Tech World 2016. I'm here with Stefan from Motorola, Lenovo now, and he's going to give us a closer look at one of the mods that really impressed us, and that was the projector. Stefan, this is not a new concept. I've seen devices like this, but this is the first one I've seen that snaps onto the back of the phone, has its own battery, and actually has a couple of features to distinguish it as a projector. Tell me about the projector mod.
Yeah, well, let me start with the device first, which is this is our new Moto Z, and we have Moto Z and Moto Z Force. And you can see there's these connectors, these 16 pins on the back that allow for this modularity, so I can connect many different devices onto the back of it to make a better phone or add capabilities that I couldn't do otherwise. So the projector is a great example where I attach this to the back. It uses magnets. attaches right on. I'm not even looking, and it attaches right on there. Boom, it's on. And now if I just power on the projector here, I've got about an hour of playback with the projector. So great for, kids who want to show videos to their friends that they created or photos that they shared. Usually everybody crowds around one tiny screen. Now they have one big screen that they can share everything with. So if you see here, let me power it on. You can see here, this gives you an idea. If I move it up here, it readjusts. It can obviously watch it on the ceiling, which a lot of people like to do when they're sitting in bed. And this video basically will run for an hour. This is about 50 lumens, so quite bright. I can span it out to about 70 inches, so nice big display depending on how dark it is or light it is. The conditions here aren't super great, but pretty good, so you can get an idea of the video. This product, what's nice about it is, again, I just snap it off, and then maybe later I want to snap on a power pack to actually get more charge in my phone. I can do that. Or later, if I want, I can just snap on the JBL speaker and play my music. So it's very versatile, modular phone. I can do lots of different things with it. The ideas that we have here are just the beginning.
We really like the modularity of the devices, especially using the magnetic connection. It actually reminds me of another Lenovo product that I've seen the last 2 years. Their Stack. Is that a carryover from Lenovo, or was this developed entirely by Motorola?
This is something that we've been working on Motorola for quite some time, different thoughts around modularity. We've been looking at this for years. As the smartphone market begins to have longer replacement cycles, consumers are finding less and less reasons to replace their phones. We started to see part of the reason why was because they were looking for more capabilities than a phone could deliver in the package that it's in. So we said, okay, well, we want to solve the problem of making infinite capabilities for a user so they can make their phone better together with other devices and other brands that basically they might be familiar with that they wouldn't use, that wouldn't build a phone themselves, like JBL, for example. So you're going to see more and more partners. We just released a developer kit today so that people can start to submit ideas, and you're going to see more and more products from other partners and other brands that will pair very well with the Moto mods.
I love the projector. I love the fact that it does the auto keystoning so the image looks good. I love the fact that it has an internal battery so you can run it for an hour before you even start to draw power from the phone. But something else that has me interested is the fact that you were able to pull both video and audio from the phone through that, was it a 16-pin connector? Yes. Do you intend to expand upon that? Because one of the movements we've been having is to have your mobile device be the only computer you carry. If I've got an extension that is more than just a dock and more than just a USB-C connector, but true 16-pin connectivity to the internal circuitry, yes, does that mean that this phone could, with a new device, become the only PC I carry?
Well, one example you might have saw during Tech World that was promoted at the end from the Innovation Lab was a concept where you basically put it as a one compute, you put it in a dock, and basically you have a laptop there. It's got a keyboard, or not a laptop, but a desktop where it's got a keyboard and a screen. So this could be your one compute platform where you just drop this in and you're using that, and that's your device that you use at home. You could pop it in at work and what have you. So yes, you can imagine lots more infinite possibilities than just simply the devices that clip on here, but it could expand into larger components and other things. That's the beauty of releasing a developer kit, is we only have so many ideas ourselves, but the world has many more creative ideas and many more creative, smart guys out there from many different companies that can build on this platform.
Now, we're going to be going up to One Compute in just a bit to check out their platform, but Stefan, thank you so very much for showing off the mods. If they wanted to find out more about Motorola, about what Motorola is doing now that it's part of Lenovo, and what you have coming out in the future, where should they go?
They should go to Motorola.com, or they can go to MotoMods.com, and there's all the information on the new Moto mods and the new Moto Z and new Moto Z Force.
Thanks again for talking to us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Motorola, Lenovo, it's a mod world. I'm standing with Patrick Norton, who has a couple of thoughts on the new mod system from Motorola. Now, Patrick, this is not the first design that we've seen this year to use something modular. We saw that in LG at Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. What's your take on the new Motorola/Lenovo mod?
Well, I think the way you set this up is, do you think they're doing it better than LG? I think that's kind of how you set this up when we were talking about it before. And when you look at it, it's, hey, if you can pull a Lego apart, you can put the Moto mods onto the new Moto Z phones. And that's pretty compelling, because it's like, oh, I pull it apart, and I can put the other mod on. I can take this one off, I can put that one on. I can put the projector on, I can put the phone on. It's interesting to me that LG, I like the idea of adding expandability or better cameras and all sorts of stuff like that to the phone. But LG, it's kind of like I got to pry this thing off, the battery, the pull, the yank, and versus just like they were really big, like it snaps. They said that like 19 times, and it snaps. It just snaps. It snaps because they wanted to bring it home that it was super, super easy to do these. And they're also, I think, making a really smart decision in that they are opening up like. Whether or not anybody claims the $1 million developer seed money or whether anybody else ever makes any of these, they're very adamant about being like, this is how they connect, this is what you can do with them, and we really want to see the ideas that people come up with, right? So, because right now they've got the projector, they've got the speaker, and the battery. I'm a little frustrated about the battery on the phone. It's like, of course you made sure it would charge, 15 hours and 15 minutes because it's a 2,500 milliamp hour battery inside of there. So a lot of people are going to be like, I need the little snap, the Moto mod, not snap, that adds the battery life because either that or you're going to be carrying around a charging plate wherever you go or a charger wherever you go. I think it's simpler and I think it's easier, and I think simpler and easier as long as it works is always better, especially where a phone is concerned. We'll see, do they ship, when they ship, how much do they cost? Like, there is no pricing on the Moto Z. None. So we don't know what the Moto Z is going to cost, which means given that, hey, look, kids, it's the Fab 2. The Fab 2 Plus is pricing out at $499 with a tremendous pile of new technology. So the Moto Z, are they going to go for $600? Are they going to be $400? The Fab, they did like a $200 and a $499 Lenovo phone and a mystery price from Motorola. I'm really curious what the price is going to be and what these Moto mods are going to cost.
I was talking with a couple of engineers and executives upstairs, and they were all, they did what they had to do, which was, pricing is to be determined. We haven't actually finalized everything. This is probably how it's going to look.
In line with other, flagship models from our competitors in the marketplace,
But one of the things that you touched on, and I really do like this, is I liked the modularity of the LG system, but you kind of have to disassemble the phone. You actually have to take the bottom of the phone off, and it shuts it down. Whereas this one is, it snaps. It snaps to the back. I do want to see a long-term use of it, though. I want to see, after a year of use, of constant snapping and unsnapping, of grime and dirt and everything else that's going to happen, will it still work, since the connector is external?
Yeah, and also, did you notice what was missing from the Moto Z?
Battery, internal.
Well, and also a headphone jack. Motorola is testing the waters on what the audience response is going to be to not having a headphone jack on a phone, which, okay, you'll get a USB-C to, headphone jack adapter on that one, but I think it's going to be really interesting to see how people react to that. And, of course, Worldwide Developers Conference in a couple weeks. Next week? Is it next week? Is it this week? It all bleeds together. We'll see whether or not the legendary and mythical iPhone 7 with no headphone jack comes out. Changes are afoot in the mobile market. Sorry.
No, I understand. I'm feeling the same thing. A lot of these conferences do blend together, and that's actually my point. When I look at this, it is something that other manufacturers have tried and kind of failed spectacularly, because it always comes back to, if we've got USB-C, why can't I just dock it? Why can't I just attach it to the bottom of the device rather than having a proprietary thing that snaps to the back? Do you see, and of course this is all dependent on pricing and availability, do you see this approach catching on? In other words, might this become, I need a snap on my iPhone, I want a 16-pin connector on the back, or is that kind of moot?
Well, I think what's interesting about it is, everybody thought like, oh, yeah, the iPad, it's got the magnetic cover. And then everybody started using it. And they're like, holy crap, this is amazing. Like, it's a cover. It has magnets. That makes it really easy. I think it comes back to, if you're talking about USB, then you either have a big dongle that hangs off the bottom, which may or may not pull out of the USB slot or help to, wear the USB slot or USB-C port, or you end up having to do this big giant thing that you have to slide the entire phone into. So this is smaller, more compact, attaches just as well or better. It has a sophisticated connector. I think it's an interesting idea. Is it proprietary? Sure. But, everything's proprietary. It's not nearly as proprietary as the LG stuff. So that's my thought.
You have it from Patrick Norton. Everything is proprietary, and everything here is awesome. Patrick, of course, you can be found on This Week in Computer Hardware on the TWiT TV network. You can also be found on The Tech Thing, which films next to Hack 5. If they wanted to find your work, where's the best place to go?
Techthing.com. That's TEKTHING.com.
He's Patrick Norton. I'm Father Robert Ballister. We're going to go back upstairs and play with the shiny, blinky things. We were walking out of the keynote address, and who did I manage to run into but Ryan Trout? Ryan, What was the single most impressive thing from the keynote?
I think for me, it's got to be the Fab 2 Pro, right? The Tango, no longer Project Tango stuff, is actually really impressive. The AR capabilities of it, I went and played with it. I saw create a dinosaur on the floor in front of you and kind of walk around it and see it. I still think that's incredibly powerful. Will have a lot of implications on stuff moving forward, and it really works surprisingly well today already, which is nice.
That's one of the things that struck me as well. The fact that when you put a virtual object down, the cameras, the sensors are sensitive enough that they'll even pick up your camera shake. And it always feels as if it's locked to that surface. It never feels as if suddenly it's detached and it's floating.
Yeah, I even went to the point of setting up the dinosaur in this virtual space and then kind of walking around the room with the phone and then coming back and looking in that same spot and it was still there, right? Making sure that it was, how long was it retaining that in memory and that type of stuff, and it did what it was supposed to do.
Now, it wasn't just the Fab 2. Of course, the Fab 2 gets the lion's share of the attention because we all wanted to see Tango in an actual product that will be released to the public. But Motorola, newly acquired by Lenovo, came out swinging. They've got 2 new products that are actually, they're brilliant designs, they're beautiful phones. What was your thought of the new Motos?
I love the idea of the modularity that it provides, right? So they have 2 models. They have the one that's kind of like super thin and then the one that, hey, we promise your screen will never break, which is nice. I know a lot of people didn't need that. But the modularity capability of it, I think, is really compelling. I know LG launched one that had modularity to it as well back at Mobile World Congress. It had some problems, right? It wasn't as good as an implementation as I think this is, because you don't have to turn your phone on and off. You don't have to worry about rebooting it when you change devices. And what they announced? They announced a projector, a speaker set, stereo speaker set, and an extended battery. They're talking about like 22 extra hours of battery life on it. And for me, that's what I'm after, right? For phones, notebooks, tablets, whatever it is battery life.
Let's talk about extended functionality, because one of the things that's unique about the Motorola phones is they have that 16-pin connector on the back, which devices are magnetically connected to. But because it gives you a direct channel to the video and to the audio, people are saying, wait a minute, this is a dock. You've essentially created something that would allow me to use my phone, which are incredibly powerful these days, as the only PC I carry. Do you buy into that? We saw a little bit of that at Computex with AMD's new processors that are designed to give a bit more horsepower into low-power devices. Will the phone be eventually the only computer that I carry?
I would say eventually I could see that happening, but we've seen the idea of a dockable phone that attaches to monitors and keyboards and mice for a while. I think a lot of it comes down to the operating system implementation. How well does Android handle that now? How well does Motorola's kind of custom software handle that now? Performance-wise, look, there's still a big gap between what my smartphone can do and what even an Ultrabook style laptop could do. There's still a pretty big gap there. So, depending on what your productivity tasks are, a phone like the Motorola Z could do it, but I'm hesitant to say that we're there yet in terms of performance.
All right, now let's talk about the start of the keynote. We had both CEOs of Intel and Lenovo playing a game of fireballs in virtual reality. Is VR just something that every company has to have? You now have to have it in your portfolio, otherwise you're not considered a serious player. Or do you think Lenovo is actually going to throw some power and some dollars behind the development of a custom VR system?
I don't know. I think today you have to have VR in your keynote. Regardless of what it is or where it is or what you're doing, you have to have it. When I talk to people, that's what they want to talk about. That's kind of like the hot thing. I'm still hesitant to think that it will be as big as quickly as a lot of people want it to be, but it is a growth point, right? If you look back at 3D TVs or you look back at 4K, these are all things like, hey, this is where we can sell new products. This is where there's new capabilities required. That's what they're targeting, right? So I do think Lenovo will put money behind it, and there were rumors about there being an announcement here about VR that didn't really happen. So either they're holding back on that or they're waiting for some changes or something else to occur. So I still think they will push into it. I just don't know. I thought it was going to be today.
We've been speaking with Ryan Shrout from This Week in Computer Hardware, and of course from PC Perspective. Ryan, if they wanted to find more of your work, your insights, the podcast that you put out, where should they go?
PCPer.com, all that is there. PCPer.com/podcast is where we put that out every week as well. And we've got a great bunch of people that do reviews and analysis and news up on the website.
Thanks again for your time. Thanks as always for sharing your intelligence. It would be very easy to look at the announcements that we've heard here at Lenovo Tech World 2016 and say they're not particularly new. We have seen AR, we have seen VR, we've seen the latest and greatest in mobile devices and tablets and in PCs. But here's the thing. The more manufacturers that play in the upper echelon of performance, the more manufacturers that give us the mobile devices that we want, the more manufacturers that experiment with new technologies like bendable displays and multifunction phones, well, the more competition we're going to have, and that means the better units for each and every single one of us. Until the next time we come to one of these events, I'm going to leave you with this. What Lenovo has shown us here at today's conference is that you can make a competent device that is just as home on the road as it is in your pocket. Until then, I'm Father Robert Ballecer, the Digital Jesuit, saying goodbye from Lenovo Tech World 2016.